Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. So our 2023-2024 season previews begin today with the Dallas Stars. One of my favorite series that I love doing, and we're going in random order. If you didn't see the schedule of where your team's going to be, I did post it on the community page on the channel, so you can go look there. But I am really excited to start this off with Dallas because they are a team that I really enjoy. They're one of my favorite teams overall in the NHL. I love watching the Dallas Stars, and I honestly love talking about the Dallas Stars, and then I get yet again another opportunity to talk about them here today. So let's look at last season first before we start previewing into next season. In 22-23, they were 47, 21, and 14 for 108 points. They were 8th in the NHL overall, so they were top 10. I believe they were second in their division or close to first. If not, they were second. And they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights in the Western Conference Finals, but not before beating the Minnesota Wild in 6 games, the Seattle Kraken in 7 games, and then losing to the Golden Knights in 6 games. So that was... And look, in that playoff run, Ottinger obviously got hurt. The blue line wasn't playing the best defense behind him either. And it really showed that, there were some holes in the roster. And they did lose some guys this past year. Key departures listed Max Domi, a deadline acquisition. Not a huge deal that they lost him, but still, it is a pretty big loss to that top 6. Luke Glendening, a solid bottom 6 center that can win faceoffs for you, a very good player. Joe Kiviranta, one of the guys that I liked a lot in Dallas, was obviously that hero in 2020. Unfortunately, is gone now. They also lost Lil Butcher as well. I believe he might have even retired. I'm not too sure. But regardless, he is no longer on that blue line there for Dallas. So your departures, it isn't huge, the guys they lost. They didn't lose, like, so many substantial guys that it's like, oh, they're not going to be good next year. In fact, I think they made up pretty well with upgrades there. Their biggest arrival was definitely Matt Duchene of the Nashville Predators, was bought out and then was signed by Dallas to a 1-year contract. The best part about that deal is it's like a no-risk deal. Like, if that deal goes wrong somehow, some way, then it's not a huge deal. It's a 1-year contract. You can just move him at the deadline, or you could just wait for him to expire. It really isn't that big of a deal if he plays bad. But if he plays good, a solid, 50-point score, 60-point score, has had that in his career before. Obviously, in those years with Nashville, it's been a struggle. But I think definitely playing with Dallas, and when we get into the line changes or the lineups, I will talk about this. But definitely, he's a guy who, with his line mates, could produce very well. Sam Steele as well, a good bottom 6 forward there. Has been on the bottom 6 for a long time. It's pretty much where he's fit. Craig Smith, most likely a depth forward. There isn't much of a role there for him, but still a solid player. Then Gavin Bayreuther as well is likely going to be a 7th D, if we're being honest, or an 8th D if we're being fully honest. Probably won't make the lineup out of the gate, if I'm being honest. But he should play games this coming season for sure. You look at their projected lineups, and I like their lineup a lot. You start off with your forward core. We'll start with the top 6. You got Jason Robertson, Rupe Hintz, Joe Pavelski is your first line. You got Mason Marchment, Tyler Seguin, and Matt Duchene as the second line. So I do want to say this too, and I'll mention the bottom 6 now. Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston, Evgeny Dadonov is your third line, and then Sam Steele, Radek Faksa, and Ty Dellandrea is your fourth line. I would like to mention that most likely the second and third line are going to interchange. It's going to be probably that every game. They're going to swap out. They're going to try different things. That first line's most likely going to be permanent unless if there's an injury, which is very possible. But what I expect to happen is that second and third line, there's going to be swaps to that lineup. Like Ben could come with the second line. Johnson could be second line center. Duchene could move down to the third line. Honestly, that's probably what I see happening. They'll interchange here and there, but most likely that's going to be your lineup heading into the season. The fourth line isn't bad either. Good guys in Steele and Dellandrea and Faksa there as well. And then for your depth players, you got Blumel, who could play some games this season. Maverick Bourque spent the entire year this past year with the Texas Stars. If you watched our prospect pool overview for the Stars, you would know that. But he should be playing at least some games in the NHL this coming season. There is that possibility he could make the team out of camp, but of course we'll find out. And then Craig Smith there as well, also another guy that will play a few games, but just more or less a extra forward there on that slot. Defense, and the defense is where I'm concerned a little bit. Ryan Sutter, Miro Heiskanen is your first pairing. Esa Lindell, Nils Lundqvist, your second pairing. Thomas Harley, Yanni Hakanpää, your third pairing. And then Joel Handley and Gavin Bayreuther as your extra defender. So, honestly, it isn't the worst defense in the world. Of course, you got Heiskanen in there. Lundqvist had a solid year. But some of those guys, like the Ryan Sutter, like that, just that deal, and that he just has not been the best defenseman on that blue line, and it showed in the playoffs. He was not good whatsoever. So I'm a little bit worried there putting him on the first pairing. That's my only concern, though. My only concern with them really is their defense, and I'm not really worried about much else, if I'm being honest. Goaltending-wise, you got Jake Oettinger, one of the top 5 goalies in the league. Scott Wedgwood and Matt Murray, not the Murray from Toronto, a different Matt Murray. As your third string goalie. So the goalie tandem's great. Just the only biggest thing is the defense. And that's what my X factor is for this video. One of the new things we're introducing is an X factor. What is going to make or break the Dallas Stars? Probably the defense, if we're being honest. I mean, Heiskanen and Lundqvist, solid D-man there. Harley and Handley, young guys, should be pretty solid. But of course, there is some concern there with the left D side, putting Ryan Sutter on that first pairing. But, I mean, it does have about 2 more years or 1 to 2 more years left on his deal. So, after that, then you can look at getting other guys. But, of course, that's my only concern. We'll see how it does come the season. My biggest question is then can they sustain another run? And it goes back to that blue line and asking that question. Is that blue line going to be able to, hold its ground? Is the forward core going to stay healthy? Can Oettinger stay healthy in playoffs? Really, I think this team is a cup team. I honestly do think that. Just the only problem is the defense, if I'm being honest. I really do think this team can go far. They're a young team nonetheless, and they got guys in here who may be getting up there in age. Jamie Benn's getting old. Tyler Seguin's getting old. Joe Pavelski's getting old. But you got guys like Maverick Bourque who can come up and play in the center core. Logan Stankoven shouldn't see the NHL this coming year, but likely will play in Texas and could be a guy that is rising up in the lineup. You got other guys there too, like Stranges and like other guys we've mentioned throughout the prospect pool reviews and just other videos overall. But yeah, I really like Dallas. They will definitely be a top 3 team in their division, probably second in their division once again, behind Colorado, unless there's something that happens. But regardless, that'll do it for your season preview of the Dallas Stars. One more thing though, are they going to make playoffs? Probably. I've said that they're going to make playoffs. It should be where they finish. And there's no doubt in my mind they should be in the playoffs. Regardless, that is your season preview for the Dallas Stars. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank y'all for watching. Our next video will be, I believe, the Calgary Flames season preview, if I'm going in that direction, I believe. And then we'll do a prospect pool review tomorrow as well. So we'll keep the schedule going, and we'll try and finish off the prospect pool reviews and grind with the season previews. It's going to be fun. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.